green hill. Green hill, green hill. Green hill. I'm getting fed up of green hill. Oh, that's better. Dr. Eggman, you're my hero. In today's review, we're cranking up the heat a little bit with the Sonic Hacking Contest 2016 winner, Sonic Scorched Quest, created by Painto, formerly known as Sonic Burned Edition. And oh boy, this hack has a lot of fire in its heart. This game is mainly known for its mostly brand new and imaginative boss encounters, featuring a supersized version of Eggman's minions. But that's not all that's in store. Sonic Scorched Quest features refreshed level design, music substitutions, modernized special stages, fire? And regardless of this being a demo, the SHC 2016 edition dishes out more content than you would expect. Let's ignite this review by describing the plot of Sonic Scorched Quest. And yes, the story is incorporated into the game, initially. Rather than me reading it word by word, let me summarise what this is all about. The events take place after Sonic CD. Eggman learns about these new flame emeralds, each with the ability to control different types of fire, like combustible fires, flammable fires, electrical fires, water fires. He magically retrieves an emerald out of thin air, sets the island alight using his water fire emerald, and it's up to the blue blur to stop Eggman. Cue Sonic 1 gameplay. From here, there is no more narrative to the hack, and you just progress through the zones as normal, starting off with Green Hill. It's not even on fire! This hack falsely advertised itself! Oh, that's more like it. Cheers, Senpai. As I was saying, you advance through the stages. You kick Eggman's butt a few times, and then... wait, there's not even an ending? Not even credits? Well, that sucks. When commencing this hack, you get a few new splash screens, and then this pretty neat title screen. And here's a cool trick. Input the Sonic 1 level select code, and you're now the pilot of the tornado. But in all seriousness, there is a cheat code that you can use for level select, which is the same code as Knuckles in Sonic 2, but it only works if you complete the game first. Despite the fact that an SRAM file gets created during gameplay, the demo doesn't actually save your progress. But that shouldn't be much of an issue for the common classic fans, as Sonic controls exactly the way he does in the original game. But he does have a couple of extra tricks up his sleeve. He can super peel out. Yay! He can spin dash the Sonic CD way. Yay! He can control his movement in the air after a roll and jump. Now that is undeniably awesome. Nothing bugs me more than not being able to alter my direction in mid-air after leaping from a roll. So thank you for implementing that in. And as much as I dislike the Sonic CD spin dash, at least in this game you don't have to fully charge it to use it. So that's a plus. But I still would have preferred the Sonic 2 spin dash nevertheless. Sonic also leaves an after image when he's hitting top speed, but that doesn't really change the way he gets controlled. It's just more of a visual effect. Then except for appearing purple, which there is a good reason for that which I'll get onto in a few seconds, Sonic handles the same and looks identical to the vanilla game. As does the zone art. It's pretty much intact from their original production. Well, okay, you have the tiniest minuscule art modifications or additions, such as numbered blocks or broken bridges, and the abundance amounts of flame scattered all over the foreground. And while I understand its reasoning for being everywhere, it kept messing with my mind. And half the time, I thought I was going to take damage by touching them. Especially when you had the same art for this flame or that flame, and they still hurt you. The fire art for these foreground incidences really should have been redrawn to save the confusion. The colours in all of these zones have taken a different direction to demonstrate how blistering hot it is. Phew, I'm just sweating just looking at it. With it looking hotter and brighter, it's great that the developer has taken into account how this would look on Sonic. With more red light, blend that with the blue, Sonic is going to appear more on the purple side. And it's small considerations like these that I really appreciate. While the level graphics are for the most part unchanged, the same cannot be said for the level design, where every level and act within has received new routes. One thing I would like to applaud is that there wasn't any specific part of a stage that I recognised from the original. I'm taking a guess here, but I feel the designer actually erased the layout entirely and started from scratch with their own. Nothing frustrates me more than seeing the same tile sets from Sonic 1, as it gives me the impression the creator was lazy with their level design. But the inventor went all out with this title. Having said that, I don't feel that the course changes is a big deal to talk about. I never felt the general flow of the level designs, as the zones just didn't really give me anything to keep me interested. You got some badniks and platforms and obstacles in the game, of course, but they're just there. Walls and other placements felt in the way and I didn't get any thrills or excitement. I mean, where's all the speed gone? Okay, Sonic 1 isn't the king of level designs either, but this game felt like it had more immoral placements or confusing passages. An example can be found in Flame Yard Act 1, where you have to hit this button to open the barrier in front of you, but another blockade closes the way behind you, for some bizarre reason. Immediately, there's a spring that leads you up above, but the only way you can go is left. Ooh, I may get rewarded for exploring my curiosity here. If you go left, you're going to fall down because nothing spectacular is up there, and it actually leads to nothing, and you're back where you were earlier. And now you're stuck with no way to progress. Why have a spring here if that's the wrong way to go? What was the point in me closing this off? It logically makes no sense. Likewise, the zones felt claustrophobic quite a bit with way too much going on. Subsequently, the Mega Drive's processor really struggles to handle everything on screen, and the game begins to drag, literally. And this can have a major impact with your control on Sonic, as at points you have to compensate with the inconsistencies of the pace of the game with its intermittent slowdown. And then suddenly, boom! The full speed again and you lose focus on what you intended to do in the first place. The slowdown got so bad at one point, a platform decided to melt in front of my very eyes and lead me to my bereavement. That's just totally unfair. The slowdown really needs fixing, because not all zones have been completed either. I don't mean you suddenly come to a dead end or at a huge death pit with no end in sight. I mean some acts are just missing or don't come into play at all, like Flame Yard Act 3 or Firelight Zone Act 3. I suppose I can forgive it as it's just a demo, but I thought I'd mention it. Still babbling on with the levels, and every stage has received some ripple effects in the foreground and background to represent the world burning. While this is cool and all, it gives more burden to the processor and adds even more slowdown to the game, so I wish there was an option to turn this effect off. The level creations isn't all terrible news, as there are one or two motivating gimmicks, like an aerial obstacle course or a button puzzle while you're wrestling with the water, etc. Also, I like that the water in Boiling Labyrinth is meant to represent lava, I think. It's not really dense enough to be lava, is it? But I digress. The water, lava, whatever, deducts one ring from your count every 3 seconds, unless you have a shield. You can still drown either way, however, but it's a neat addition. Also a new featurette, you get some great cutscene transitions after some acts, and that keeps the fluidity of the game going. Oh, terrible dismount, Sonic. I'm gonna have to give you a score too. Why the poor balance? Maybe you need some flame emeralds to keep you steady. Go on, pal, they're located in the special stages. They can be found by activating a portal from the checkpoints when you have obtained 50 rings or more, as you would from Sonic 2. Brilliant! Screw those big rings from Sonic 1, and screw the rotating mazes, and the half-pipes. The author has gone old school and has modernised the 8-bit Sonic 1 special stages. The principle of these are pretty simple. You bounce around the place like a lunatic, collecting the required ring amounts within a specified time limit. And once you've done that, you do it again. And once you do it again, you have to do it again. Finally, after that, you obtain 1 Flame Emerald. As entertaining as I found these, the special stages got really repetitive and real boring real quick. Look, I didn't really care that I had to do a second phase, but 3 parts to it is just a little too much for just 1 emerald. The time limit is quite generous too, so it's not like you're going to fail these stages, but that just makes it more wearisome. It just weren't really testing me well enough. Well, except for the amount of slowdown again, Gordon Bennett! To be fair, Special Stage 5 and 6 ramps it up a bit, with the camera scrolling and then the key finding respectively. In Special Stage 5, you're now floating your way through the air at a constant speed, collecting rings and avoiding randomly generated bombs, which are a little problematic at times. And then the final stage, you have to search for 4 keys to unlock the final emerald. Both of these are welcome changes, and after obtaining that 6th emerald, you get a message declaring that Sonic got them all. Oh, did he now? There are technically 7 flame emeralds in the game, but Eggman got one by doing bugger all! I didn't see that lazy git going through these time-consuming special stages, the massive cheating. But anyway, have no fear, because in this game, Sonic only needs 6 emeralds to become Burning Sonic! Which means he just tried to become Super Sonic, but you know, Eggman has the Water Emerald, so Sonic is constantly overheating and sweltering. Seriously, he's in pain. It's not funny. Joking aside, you only need 6 emeralds to obtain the burning form. And before you ask what does Burning Sonic entail, it's just Super Sonic. Burning Sonic does all the tricks and skids he does in Sonic 2. But he does have one delightful addition. He can de-transform at will, which is amazing. If you want to protect your ring energy for a later date, now you can. Because as long as you have 50 rings or more, you can change back into Burning Sonic. As much as I like how Burning Sonic is handled in the game, I couldn't say the same for the music choice for him. It's... well, let's not beat around the bush. It's bad. The supersonic music from Sonic the Fighters didn't really translate to the Mega Drive well, and that goes for the half of the OST. Practically all the music was reformed in this hack, but the majority was just bland and off-key. In spite of me saying that, there were a select few that really did catch my ear's attention. With Roasting Marble Zone's music being my favourite, some of the tunes were very memorable with its dynamic tempo and refined compositions. As for the sound effects, most are the same from the vanilla game. I'm a poet and... oh yeah, I've made that joke already. With only a few noises that are being borrowed from Sonic CD. Yes, that stupid jump sound effect from the stupid CD classic is featured in this title. You already know how I feel about this, so I won't say any more. Oh, the review, sorry! Alrighty, let's not delay this part any longer, as I know you're all here to catch my thoughts on these boss fights. And for the most part, I could describe them with just one word. Wow. I consider this where all the effort and sweat got put into Sonic Scorched Quest. A substantial amount of acts established a new mini-boss at the end, if you could call them mini, which usually represents a huge version of the iconic Badniks, which are obviously more treacherous than their smaller counterparts. These bosses are great too, and they're not that perplexed, and their attack patterns are swiftly picked up. Most of the time. Why can't I hit them in this state? But in all honesty, they're a lot of fun, and it's terrific that we get to combat against new bosses. Not all of them are massive renditions of the enemies though. Some are the Doctor himself, or the common antagonist Metal Sonic. Excluding Flame Yard Act 2, all acts contain at least one boss of some sort, with a couple of zones receiving an extra act dedicated to the boss clashes. And while the majority have had their own imagination injected into them, a rare amount were borrowed from other Sonic games. Now, I hate to sound like a broken record here, but I did conclude that some of these battles were a bit tedious. I had to wait around a lot, or just avoid attacks for too long before I could strike. I wish there were more chances that I could land a hit on the big guys, but evidently, that's not meant to be. but except for these minor nitpicks, I can't really fault these great battles, and for the most part, they were very pleasurable. After playing through Sonic Scorched Quest twice, I found this game in my experience to be a bit of a mixed bag. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying by all means that this didn't deserve first place in the Sonic hacking contest, as it probably was the best in competition at the time, but it felt that I noted down more cons than pros. The level design, the slowdown, the music ports, they're all pretty average in my opinion, but the cutscenes and the great boss conflicts more than make up for it. If I had to state a rating, I would give Sonic Scorched Quest a 7 out of 10. Whew, thanks to you all who may have suggested Sonic Scorched Quest. If you guys would ever like to propose more Sonic hacks or mods or fan games for me to review or try, you can do so in my Discord server, where regular members can add the recommendation to my official to-do list. The link to my Discord server is in the description. I really hope you enjoyed this, and to show your support, just take a second to hit that like button and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future content. I'll be live streaming the full gameplay of Sonic Scorched Quest in just about a week's time, so don't miss it. And a massive thanks to all my current sponsors. I really appreciate it, guys. If you're not a sponsor and you want your name here as well as receiving a lot more privileges, check the sponsor link in the description. Until next time, you guys have a great weekend, and I'll catch you real soon.